Today we're going to talk about what Kirby Smart's Georgia has done and what it still has left to do. And all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today, I want to talk about Kirby Smart's Georgia. And yes, we can talk about Jake Fromm and how some folks have him in the Heisman Trophy conversation, and for good reason. I understand that the Sugar Bowl did not go Georgia's way, but that ain't who Georgia is. Jake Fromm is a good quarterback. I don't know about elite in the way that folks are thinking about toward the NFL, although there are some mocks that have him going in the first round. I still think that Georgia football, especially under Kirby Smart, is about the defense. And I'm on the Jim Thorpe Award selection committee, which means that I'm fortunate enough to not only seed great defensive back play, but offer a critical look at it. And the winner last year, 2018 Paycom Jim Thorpe Award winner, was DeAndre Baker. DeAndre Baker hadn't given up a touchdown since 2016. I mean, that's how long it's been. And yes, DeAndre Baker is an outstanding young man, outstanding defensive back, and he's going to do good things with the Giants. But the dude that introduced DeAndre at the banquet to honor him in Oklahoma City earlier this year was Glenn Schumann. Glenn Schumann, linebackers coach, I thought he was going to be defensive coordinator at Georgia till that job, well, didn't go to him. But Schumann started off with an anecdote that I think every linebacker coach likes to tell, which is, every defensive back just wanted to be a linebacker, just weren't able to make it happen. And I thought that was funny, but also Schumann talked about not just DeAndre and how he stuck it out as a 3-star recruit and how he waited his turn. And when he got an opportunity, he did not give it up. He played Georgia football. And Georgia football, according to Jonathan Ledbetter, is about being a beast. And that is what Kirby Smart has brought to Georgia, the identity that they wanted from Alabama that saw Kirby Smart win national championships under Nick Saban. Now, I think that Georgia is in the same position that Clemson was 5 years ago. I think they're on the cusp. And I also think they're dealing with the same history of having one foot in each world, the old world and the new. The old world, where we remind them they haven't won a championship since Reagan was president. And we also look and shake in our boots at what Georgia football has turned into. It's not that it wasn't good underneath Mark Richt. It's that Kirby Smart immediately made it better. By year 2, they're playing in a national championship, and they were there. They were gonna win it. Matter of fact, I think the better matchup was OU versus that Bama team, but you get the point. Georgia football was there, and they came back, from 17 down to beat my team, Oklahoma. Kirby Smart knows what he has. Is getting 5-star recruits like you get cotton in Mississippi, okay? Demetrius Robertson is there. I understand that. Zamir White is going to be a really great running back and a really great subplot to watch for. But it's really about the mentality of Georgia football. Because, again, Alabama was able to get the national championship won by Nick Saban's 3rd year, in large part because Kirby Smart was calling the defense. And the way that college football has changed since they stopped a mud hole in Texas, we cannot underscore that enough. I mean, it's not just he's had to remake his defense entirely, where he used to have 360-pound nose tackles, can't do that anymore. He used to have 260-pound inside linebackers, can't do that anymore. The game is spread out. People are trying to spread you out. They're trying to get one-on-one matchups. And Kirby Smart has decided to recruit to defend those one-on-one matchups. He has said, look, with the RPO concepts and everybody going to a version of the air raid or a pro raid or basketball on grass, his defensive backs in particular, but really everybody who has to line up over a tight end, a slot, or an out-and-out flanker have to be able to match up man-to-man. You got to be able to take away their best guy. And they're able to do that at Georgia, and they're able to do it pretty consistently. Now, they got handed their head a couple of times, and that's going to happen. But I still contend that everybody, Oklahoma, Alabama, Clemson, should be scared of what Georgia is capable of doing, because they've been capable of doing it for the last 3 years, and it's a matter of time. I look at what Oklahoma has overcome defensively over the last few years, and Lincoln Riley made a change, and he went to go get a guy that has done more with less. And with the talent on Oklahoma's roster, you got to believe that Alex Grinch is going to get something going. But Kirby Smart already has that thing going over there. And it's about, can he get the same sort of offensive output, and even better to a degree, out of Jake Fromm. And I say Jake Fromm because Stetson ain't the guy. We all know that. He's beloved. He's a walk-on quarterback. That's what he is. D'wan Mathis, he had a cyst removed from his brain. He's in full recovery. He's okay. He was also, for me, a really good backup, a really good heir apparent. They kind of basically traded quarterbacks with Ohio State. Justin Fields, as you know, transferred to Ohio State. D'wan Mathis ended up flipping his commitment to Georgia and signing there. And he's going to be a pretty great quarterback. His size alone is ridiculous. But again, it's the mentality. And Ledbetter had said this in The Athletic. He said, look, it's got to be a beast. You have to be a beast. A beast as a mentality, but you're also a dog. And by that, I could say bulldog, but I'm really talking about underdog. You have to play like an underdog while also accepting that everybody knows you can't sneak up on them anymore. You can't do it. That's not who you're going to be. Everybody who plays Georgia in 2019 is going to get Georgia football's best shot. They're coming for your neck. All right? It's going to be a Wu-Tang Clan song out there, and I don't know if they're ready for that. I could say, yeah, I do think they're ready for that. I think they're ready for that because they were in the SEC title game, and they did watch Jalen Hurts take away their opportunity to play in the college football playoff in another year, and Oklahoma slides into that spot precisely because Jalen Hurts, who now plays for Oklahoma, beat up on Georgia. And I think that they all remembered that. They went into the Sugar Bowl. I don't think they went in flat, but I also think that Texas went in with something to prove. And that's not to say that I thought that Texas was the better football team, but they sure as heck looked like it against Georgia and a good Georgia defense. Now, I get that Georgia fans are going to say what Alabama's fans said 2014 when Oklahoma stomped a mud hole in them, which was, hey, we were down for that game. We didn't really care. We thought we should have been playing in the college football playoff. Notre Dame or Oklahoma, we're a better football team. Okay, wins and losses, dude. Okay? Wins matter, losses matter. Get over it. And that's not an excuse for playing in a Sugar Bowl and getting beat down. But again, they'll say, hey, RJ, you of all people know DeAndre Baker didn't play in that game. Okay? And I'm saying, well, it turns out Colin Johnson and L.J. Humphrey weren't that great because Colin Johnson got his stay-in-school grade from the NFL, and L.J. Humphrey came out early and didn't get drafted. All right? So the defensive back play over there better get better, and they better find out what they can do about stopping dudes like Sam Hargy Ellinger, kind of the reverse of what Oklahoma has to deal with. You know, you build these defenses to compete against Big 12 offenses, and then you face a smash-mouth football team like Georgia, like Alabama, and get your head handed to you. I think that happened in reverse to Georgia to a degree. Now, we've seen Big 12 teams basically take them apart back years. They end up getting a W against Oklahoma. I understand that. But you also got run on. Rodney Anderson went 26 carries for 200 yards. Okay? So let's not act like Big 12 offenses aren't giving Georgia a problem. But if they can get past it and they can build the kind of defense that can hold up and then beat down those teams when it matters, we're talking about a national championship. We're not talking about them getting beat by Tua Tagovailoa in the second half of a football game. All right? We're not talking about them getting beat by Jalen Hurts in the second half of a football game. Just Alabama backup quarterbacks just doing it to them. However, again, I keep going back to this. I think they're on the cusp. I think it's them. Clemson is them 5 years ago. They're Clemson maybe now in 5 years if they keep it up. And it's not as if they're not going for it all. Georgia is scheduling big. Oklahoma's on their schedule. Clemson's on their schedule. I mean, they want the big game, all right? And I understand that Kirby Smart is in it for the long haul. And I'm not cautiously optimistic because I'm going to watch SEC football one way or another, just like I'm going to watch Big 12 football one way or another. And I'm going to watch Ohio State at the very least in the Big 10. I can't say that I'm really going to pay a whole lot of attention to the Pac-12 outside of the UCLA game that Oklahoma plays and whatever it is Mike Leach is doing in Washington State, although Washington is normally pretty good. And USC has just been fun to watch because it's been a dumpster fire that fell into some five-star recruits here of late. I'm laying this all out for you to say, if you're a Georgia fan watching this, you have reason to believe that you can win a national championship more than I think a lot of people might give you credit for. And if you're not a Georgia fan watching this, if you got them on the schedule, you got to know you got to win this game because they're going to dictate once again who gets in, who doesn't get into the college football playoff. They're going to play a pivotal role in that. All right, that is it for me. Catch me 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. weekdays on the RJ Young Show, 97.1 FM locally, Sports Animal. There is a link in the description below where you can stream it online. I'm having a good time. I will see you tomorrow. Deuces.